YouTube, welcome back to my channel. Hi cuties, hey lovelies, hey beautiful, hey handsome. Today on my channel I have a very dear friend of mine, Sarah. Sarah is a photographer, like the best photographer I know.
You're right.
It's in my opinion now.
Okay.
This is my channel. That's what I know.
Okay.
Yeah, so she's the best photographer I know. Like, she's so good with portrait photography and every other one in between. And today we're going to be talking. We're both moms and we're both married. Why do we always say mom first? We're both wives. So today we're going to be talking about our wedding, experience of our wedding. So if you like this kind of content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friends, and engage with us in the comment section so we know what you like. And please just tell us something about this video. Sarah. Okay, so let me tell you what is informing this video. What triggered this video was I saw her wedding video, her wedding pictures, and I'm like, okay, she looks angry. She looks angry, but I didn't want to say it because for crying out loud, I was want to show you her wedding picture. But then shortly after that, she started telling me how she was angry on that day. I said, I knew it. I knew it. So we're going to talk about our experiences in our wedding and what we liked, what we didn't like about our wedding, and what we'll do differently if we get another chance. So Sarah, please, where were you at? That picture, I will insert that picture here. It was...
I'm not going to give you to insert it, please.
Okay, so what happened at your wedding? How was your wedding? And what would you change?
My wedding was like okay, I've forgiven everybody. So in fact, I feel we're talking about it because one of the parties involved with my friend, and of course, all water under the bridge.
Yeah.
So build up to the wedding. Yeah, one of my friends was supposed to do my cake, and I think she said she was going to come to Kaduna. I got married in Kaduna, and she was supposed to come from Abuja to Kaduna like 2-3 days before the wedding. And for some strange reason, I don't know what happened. She didn't come, she didn't call. So I was very worried. I started thinking of what's the plan B for cake. But she wasn't picking my calls. I was really worried the day to the wedding. And then the decorator, oh God. The decorator was one very sophisticated lady. I told her what I wanted, and she was just saying, we're gonna drape here, we're gonna do this. She was just speaking plenty big English. So I didn't have a planner, I planned it myself. I'd been to so many very nice weddings. I know that I was working on a budget, but I just trusted these people. Yeah. Mistake number one: don't just use your friends for these things if they've not been tested and
so true.
Tried over and over again. So the day of the wedding, everything okay. So in the morning, I was very worried because I still hadn't seen my cake. I hadn't seen the person that was supposed to bring the cake. So even when I was getting my makeup done, I was still calling. She wasn't picking her calls. And then maybe at some point, she now finally picked and said she was on her way. I'm like, was it I realized she was coming from Benue to Kaduna that day? Benue to Kaduna is like 7 hours. So how is it that wedding at my church by 12 we're done, pictures by 1, everybody seated in the reception. My wedding, we're done with everything by 3 o'clock, my wedding. Wow. They don't usually like to waste time. So I was frantic, like so worried. Long story short, I went to church. In church, I was still giving my friends eye, like, has she come? Finally, they now came and whispered that, oh yeah, she's around. Everything is fine. She's around. So I now relaxed.
Everything is fine. Okay, yeah. I'm sure they
did not know now. They just saw her and felt like, thank God she's here.
Yeah.
So time for dancing in now. First of all, when I was dancing in the DJ, the sound was not giving. Like, like I was really going for all these gang weddings and the sound is so my own was now sounding like a cassette. Like, so I was not like, what kind of, and I can't remember how I got that DJ too. I think it was maybe somebody said, it's not like I'd seen what he had done.
Yeah.
And I knew people that could do it, but maybe their money was plenty. And me working on a budget, and I said, this one will do for you 20K. So I now gave the 20K person. So when I heard the music, I was just not feeling it. But I said, okay, it's music. Let me just try and enjoy my day. I just entered the hall. Lo and behold, the people that were doing decoration, they were still knocking pom pom on the wall. I literally died. Like, I just came in and saw the drapes, the fabrics were, some part of the wall was covered, some was not covered. Everything was so disorderly. I wanted to just die at that point because I kind of have, you know me now, like I always want things to be a certain way. So how is
Sarah,
it my
Sarah, Sarah
wedding?
is, oh God, for lack of a better, I don't even like to use this word, so let me know. But you know now, she
Sometimes I feel
has
like I have
specific.
balls in this self. So now how is it that it's my own wedding? Wedding once in a lifetime that will now have all these plenty leg. Then my eye just went straight and saw my cake. That's when I now died. I literally died. Like I couldn't even hide it. I just sighted the cake and it was over. So as I was just coming, I was just looking at my husband. Did you see the cake? Like, can you imagine? She used cream color. I was just dancing and my husband was like, calm down. It's just cake now. It's just cake. I said, how can my cake? This is everybody's. You know when people are dancing into the hall, me, I was just looking at cake and complaining about cake. How can this cake look like this? I was a bridezilla last. Oh, the cake was my color was Fisher pink and silver. The cake was cream and baby pink. So mistake number one. Then secondly, the cake actually fell down or broke in transit. So they used sellotape to now
Wrap it.
tape the cake. And the first thing I cited was sellotape. If I can't even find my cutting of cake picture because I didn't even want to do it. So because for every time I looked down at that cake, my tummy was just gonna break into pieces, you know.
Yeah.
Oh well. We did the wedding. I'm happy that my marriage is I'm in a
It's
happy
not as bad
marriage,
as
but
the
the,
wedding.
the wedding was a horrible wedding. I kept saying that my 10 years anniversary I was gonna redo my wedding, but I did something. I didn't redo the wedding, but I did something, Sha. Money. I still don't have plenty money to do.
This budget matter is always
There's
causing
always
trouble.
something.
Hold
It's
on.
not like I don't have the money, but there's always something more important. There's money I need to invest more in my business. There are just so many. I want to get a property. There are just many more important things to do with money than to just go and throw it on one frivolous wedding. And it's just wedding, really. People just come and eat rice and go. Okay, what I liked about my wedding though, the food was excellent. Like everybody that came had enough food to eat. The caterer was amazing. So that was one thing that was awesome. The food was amazing and the cake too was tasty. She made small cakes for each table and that was really good as well. Like like each table will have no, not cupcake, it's
Okay, just
bigger than
smaller
a, yeah,
cake.
but they
Yeah.
had, so that was also really nice. So yeah, there are so many nice things here and there. A lot of my family members did souvenirs and there was lots of souvenirs, so it was still a good wedding. It's just some of those my small in the house.
And
So
most importantly, it's a good marriage.
and it's a good marriage. We're 11 years in the marriage, blessed with two boys. So God has been faithful, yeah.
Call
So
and then talk
okay.
about my own experience. Oh my God. Okay, welcome back. So yeah, so that was Sarah's wonderful experience. Now that explains the picture. I don't think I have a picture of me looking angry on my wedding day. I think it wasn't necessarily the wedding day, it was the night before. So I went to the hall and it was the same budget matter. We've spent all our money buying, going to about every day, making several. I had like 4 different wedding gowns because I really wanted to. I think this DIY thing has always been in me. I wanted to make my own wedding dress, and I wanted to, like, I'm always going against the norm. So I wanted to wear a short wedding dress, and my mentor was like, "No, you're not doing that at all." And I had really beautiful pieces, but she said,
Yeah.
"Fine wedding gowns." So I had to
I didn't
rent
ask
a
that
wedding.
I forgot to add that part.
Yeah, I had to rent a wedding gown, which was really beautiful. But my after wedding party, I had to wear one of those things. So I had a lot of designs I had picked, and the tailors were just messing it up. So we were spending a lot of money on making and remaking dresses and all of that. Then during the wedding day, we really wanted. We even went to about, you see those balls, those stuff that in my house now. That was when we bought them because we really wanted to do our own decor. Me and my husband have always shared this same kind of crazy. Like we just we just something in our head just tells us that we can do something, and then we just keep doing it and all that. And then, but that day wasn't happening, so it was like last minute. We had to get like a decorator. And I feel like the common denominator in our 2 stories is the fact that we don't have event planners. And having gone to weddings in this day and age, like event planners make your life easy. If you have the money, just invest in them. So fast forward now, we're just doing the thing. We gave it to this woman, we gave all the things we bought to her, so she was going to work with it. So by the time I came in the night, I mean, I felt like the night before, like the whole should be done and ready because service wouldn't take so much time. And I came in and the place was not done. In fact, I threatened her. I said, if this place is not done, I won't walk down the aisle. Like, he was like, so all his friends were running helter skelter. One of his friends told her, bless you, he was like, Adora, don't worry, by morning this place will be ready and all of those things. My husband was stressed. In fact, my husband lost weight overnight. Everybody was just trying to. Me, I went back to sleep. My chief bridesmaid, shout out Adara. She was just, trying to pacify. Everybody just tried to make me calm and all of that. The next day, did my makeup, went to church, and by the time I came to the hall, it was okay. It was, at least it wasn't as glamorous as it's never that picture you want. Is this event planners that have that thing? If it's you
money.
and it's money, do you understand? Money, yes. If you don't give her enough money, she cannot do those things. So the advice I would say is, I beg, when you don't have money, just manage what you see, because
a smaller number of people.
My number was 350. It was a 350 hall. But my parents will
more
not
than close to 1,000 people in my wedding.
I'm sure there were more than that in my hall, but the hall we rented, it was Oasis in Rumibo. That's psychiatric road.
You got married in Port Harcourt?
Yes.
Right.
I had a small I couldn't go smaller than that because my parents are people.
That was the same thing that happened, because my husband was saying we should do strictly by invitation. If we had done that and restricted our number of guests to maybe 70, I know I'd have gotten my dream wedding, because the money we spent would have spent the same amount of money, but in a smaller way, give everybody like a time of their lives. The decoration will be in a smaller space. Of course, the decoration will be really nice and lighting, everything will come out. But if you are in a hall that's taking 500 to, you need to put in a lot of money for that hall to come out.
Yeah. So, but then again, I think that, like, for me, I've learned to not overthink weddings, because a lot of times we make a lot of plans. Like, I remember how many months we were planning for this wedding. We did not even, the only plan for the marriage we did was the premarital class. I don't know, like, nothing shocks you like when you step into marriage.
When I came, after I finished the wedding and came, it's as if I know, because my relationship with my husband was a lot of long distance. He was not around for a while. Then when he came back to the country, he used to be in Port Harcourt and I was in the north. So a lot of our relationship time was just always, he'll come around once I'll come here. But it was, so all that time it was just always go to restaurants, eat in the restaurant, all of that. And in my parents' house, for some weird reason, because I was in school a lot, I just never really used to be like that person that you have to cook and do all those. I used to cook, but it was not my responsibility. Once I will cook. There are people in the house that used to also cook, so it was not like my responsibility. I won't wake up in the morning and they'll say, "What are we eating?" Nobody used to ask me. It's my mother that will ask. Then she can say, "You go and cook this or this." So me now coming to Port Harcourt, the day we landed, I thought we're seeing that face like maybe the next 1 month we'll still be going out. My husband now said, "Babe, I'm resuming work on Wednesday." We came in on Monday. He said, "I'm resuming work on Wednesday. We have to cook soup today." No, we came in on Tuesday. He was resuming work on Wednesday. So he said, "Babe, we have to cook soup today because we're living in Rumbekwe then, and there's no shop. I did not know anywhere in Port Harcourt. So we have to go to market today and sort out everything so that we'll make soup, and so that when I'm away," I'm like, market? Like, it just dawned on me. And the next morning now I woke up and said, "Babe, what are we eating?" Hey! And for the longest I keep thinking that it's that I never thought about, like, you're getting, and
we're just in that euphoria,
exactly.
Honeymoon, love is shaking you.
I think in my mind even think of motherhood. Motherhood was fun because we kept saying no, we won't have kids till like after like a while, 5 years. Really? We had our first child within the first year of marriage.
Yeah. So it's usually like that. Like, I feel like we need to plan the marriage more. We need to talk more about life after the wedding. Wedding is just a day, and if I know what I know now, I'll just go for marriage blessing. Sir, please bless us. We'll go. Do you understand? Like, call a private dinner later in the day for your close friends, people that because a wedding is something. They don't even know you. They're not even wishing you well. A wedding is something that you should do with people that genuinely know you and care about you and desire the best
pray for you.
And pray for you. Not people that no matter how large who is the person that did the blockbuster wedding for this year 2022, no matter how blockbuster your wedding is, there's somebody's wedding that was still out blockbuster your own. Just in a few days, in a few months, in a few years, So there's no need to impress people that are not even interested in getting
And guess
impressed,
what?
because
No
they're
matter
still going to
how
talk
much you
about
spend,
your.
they
They
will
will still
find
say,
the
I
reason.
didn't eat well, oh.
Yeah,
You only
the
want me,
food
they
was
give
not
me, oh. Do
sweet.
you understand? The food was not sweet, oh. I
That's
didn't even get drink. They did not
the
share
MC was not
alcohol.
funny.
They, they
Just
must say something. It was boring. They were only playing Christian music. Or maybe the church people now be like, how can they be playing secular music in church wedding? So people are always going to have something to say. So don't overthink your wedding. Don't overspend for your wedding. Invest more in the honeymoon.
I won't say you should over. If you can afford it, why not? If you can afford it, because to be honest, there are certain things that just make some people happy, especially if you can afford it. You're not going over. Let's say
You're not going into debt.
you have 100 million in your account, and you say I want to spend 5 million for wedding. By all means, but you don't have 2 million in your account, and your budget for your wedding is 3 million, or your budget for your wedding is 2 million, or even 1.5. That is, you are practically clearing your account to do the wedding. It doesn't. I don't think. I don't vibe with that.
Going into debt for wedding is not advisable, and a lot of us do that. Like after the wedding, all the calls you'll be getting when you're supposed to be Netflixing and chilling is decorator, or they will not, or the spray money, or the committee of friends. See, there are people whose committee of friends pull that level of weight, but you know yourself, you know your people, you know your circle. And even at that, don't make plans on people's money. So just do what you can and invest more in your honeymoon. For me, that's something I regret not having. Till tomorrow, I've not gotten a honeymoon. So, and it pissed me off big time, because
I had it today. It's not honey. It's honey.
I say it's from wedding hall to my house, to my husband's house, and it wasn't even the house of my dream. I hated that house.
The house of your dream now.
I'm not, but at least I've lived in better places than that. Because we're really thinking that when I was dating my husband, like when we're still getting ready for the wedding, like I visited his place, so I'm like,
you won't come back to this.
My personal house was where I was living was nicer than that place. So we're already making plans. We had a house we're looking out at, and we're just every day we'll go there, we'll match on the leg, say we'll possess this house, I rent to be so, but I think we couldn't finally make up, because wedding, trying to juggle all of those things. So I had to, from the hall, move back to that house. I wasn't even anywhere close. Let me tell you something, like for the first few weeks in my marriage, like I was like in a state of how will I say, like, when you can't do something, like there's something that happens to me. If I don't get the picture in my mind, it's almost like I'm in freeze mode. I can't do anything. So for the longest time, that house was in disarray. It was just because I couldn't move, because that's not what I want. This is not what I want. This is moment of truth. So I think after a couple of weeks, I had to just, one day my husband went to work and I just took time to make do with what I had and make the best of what I had. And I fixed up every single nook and cranny of that house, cleaned it up to my taste, washed the toilet, went to the other room, arranged it, put my clothes.
You even had other rooms?
Yes, there was 2 rooms. Put my clothes the way I actually like it, because there's no way I was going to put my clothes in my husband's wardrobe, because it was a lot of things and it was chaotic. I put mine where I could, and arranged it the way I wanted to, in as much as I wasn't sleeping there. But at least every day I went there, I looked at it, and it gave me some level of sanity and all of that. So I had to make do with what I had, and I think we lived there for like another year before we now moved out to somewhere that was newly built. We were the first ones there. So what advice will you give people who are planning to get married and newlyweds?
I think you should, planning to get married, work with what you have, really. And life is in phases. When I got married, we moved into my husband was living in a 1-bedroom. We literally had just a mattress in that bedroom and a fridge in the kitchen and a tabletop, those tabletop gas cooker. That was it in the house, and his clothes in the wardrobe. Of course, you even had extra wardrobe. My clothes had to enter that same wardrobe. It was a 1-bedroom apartment, small parlor, small kitchen, small toilets. That's what we moved into. But today, we're, of course, a lot of water has gone under the
Yeah.
bridge. God has blessed us. We live in a better place now and all of that. So yeah, just start. Sometimes look at the bigger picture. Don't always look at the present,
Yeah.
and work with your means. Don't try to outdo. It's not. I was already. I had made money. I had worked. I had seen money. So getting married to living, we didn't have a car. Like, so getting married, my parents, I was used to being dropped off where I was going to from my father's house. So getting married and then trekking off, not trekking, like the times, of course there are times we trek, sometimes we use taxi and all of that. A lot of my friends used to laugh at me then, like, you mean you're getting married and you are just gonna, you don't have a car, like he didn't propose to you with a car. I'm like, some kind of people say all those kind of things. So yeah, just work with what you have. Today I'm very happy. God has blessed me. God has blessed my husband. God has blessed our home. Has blessed us with the good things of, yeah, we're not where we want to be, but we're definitely not where we were before. So start with what you have, work with your budget, understand where you are per time. Don't try to impress anybody. That is a major problem a lot of people have. So sometimes you end up renting a house you cannot really afford. Why would you rent? Your income is, let's say you're earning 250K and then you're renting a house of 1.5 million. It's not fair to both of you because you're going to be taking like 6 months rent, 250K. Yes, 6 months rent to pay for house. That's just house. There's still so many other expenses that will come in the future. So work with your budgets. There's a good house. There's a one-bedroom apartment that will probably cost like 400K. Use two months salary to sort that out. So you can use your money to do other things. But if you want to please people or look cool in the eyes of people, like, oh, my house is this, is that, you're gonna be spending more than what your strength can carry. Big house, more bills, and you really cannot afford it. So work with your budget. Yeah, I think that's pretty much, and put God in the center of it all,
Yeah.
because without God, you won't even last past
The wedding.
some people. Yeah, yeah. I feel like the God factor in my life has made a lot of difference. In fact, the God factor in my life made me realize that, okay, when I was making that decision, this was what God wanted me to do at that time. So even when I was seeing all these things, well, I wasn't faced, because I was so sure that God has spoken. And when God has told me to do this, I go with my full chest, knowing that I have the backing. Like the owner of it all is saying, go into this marriage. He's gonna go with me in the marriage. Even when, yeah, it didn't seem like we had everything going. I mean, I was sure that I was safe because I knew God had spoken. So have God in the center of it all. So yeah, that's the advice I'll give anybody getting married. I think there's anything else.
What advice will I give newlyweds? Like I said before, just spend more time thinking about what life after the wedding would be like. You know, a lot of times people get married to the idea of a beautiful wedding, or for the idea of a beautiful wedding, and they don't even know who they're getting married to. Of course, everybody is so fixated on, oh, that day being like a big day, and people are not spending time to get to know each other. And like Sarah said, put God in the center of it all. This God matter. You get why? Like there's a reason we are God oriented in this channel or something, because it just makes a world of difference in the world today, where there's so much wickedness, so much, mixtures, so many confusion. Like, it's important that you have a compass, you have something that directs you, and that's where God comes in, making him the center of your life. Not even your husband can give you the joy God will give you, and you will learn that. It will be one of the first shockers you also get married, because when you're dating, there's this part of you, that thing was there for a reason. God put it there so that we understand, we can even attract in the first place. But it's not always like that once you get married. Abi is always like that.
Yeah.
I used to think, in fact, I used to wonder, like, why. But even scientifically, they explained it, that if you remain on that high,
and the love that you should work with in marriage should be the one that comes, yeah, and the one exactly, and it comes from a place of like that decision, like, this is something I am deciding to, yeah. Because if you want to just trust your feelings will
fail you.
Be like this. When he annoys you, you will just not like him,
True.
So
True. So like that's really very important, because I always felt like the emotions will always be what it is, but imagine your heart constantly being in that rhythm. It's not too good. But then you need to trust God, and you need to acquire a different kind of love. Like, you need to understand a different kind of love, which is a sustained direction of your will to do good to that person. Because there are more days than not when you're not even going to like your spouse, whether it's a husband or a wife. There are days, in fact, everything they do annoys you. That's just the truth. Like, I used to wonder, like, why is it that this person will do this thing, it doesn't piss me off, this person will not do it, it will take it to, but that's actually the way it is in marriage. And we should put first what will matter the most. A lot of times we put first the things that don't matter. A lot of us put first foot forward, like, yeah, more interested. Oh, all those things, when you get in there, they won't even matter. Knowing the person you're getting into, because it's a lifetime commitment. Like, we hope that we'll be in this forever, right? By the grace of God. So we're not planning to do something that we just stay for 1 minute and the next minute you pack your bag and say it's not. Marriage will humble you. It will humble you.
Your
So
pride.
you just need to learn to trust God through it all. So I hope you enjoyed this banter with my friend. We're gonna come back again because there are so many things we want to talk about. So till see next time, don't forget to
Subscribe to her channel.
like, and
Like
please,
and share
I'm
the
gonna
video.
put her channel link below. Like I said, badass photographer, but she's just too humble.
That's so.
All right,
Bye,
bye.